مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. اللهم لولاك ما اهتدينا ولا صمنا ولا صلينا، فأنزلا سكينة علينا وثبت الأقدام إن لاقينا. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن سيدنا وسندنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. A hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wasallam mentions that a man on the day of resurrection on Qiyamah shall be summoned with a loud cry over the heads of all those who are present in a huge gathering, the like of which is unimaginable in its magnitude and its gravity. And a certain man shall be called in front of everyone and be summoned and come, and records of his sins will be brought out one after the other in unending succession, each of which records, when they are opened, each of them reaches to the horizon. The scroll unfolds, and all this containing all his sins, even the minutest. As we have read that people will say, what kind of book is this which does not leave out anything, even the smallest and most trifling details. Everything has been recorded and everything is exposed on that day. And that man will fear very much for himself and will think that his fate is sealed and he's going to be punished forever. And he will be asked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, do you deny any of this? And he will say, oh, Ya Rabbi. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, you will not be wronged in the least. And he will have to admit that he's not being wronged in the least. It is all true. And he stands accused rightly. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask him, is there anything good that you can remember? And he will say, Ya Rabbi, I don't remember anything. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself will come to his defense and will say, but yes, there is something good, you will not be wronged. And a small paper will be brought out with something written on it. And on it is written that man's Shahadah, La ilaha illallah Muhammadun Rasulullah. And that is his good deed. And so the man will say, Ya Rabbi, what can this small paper do against all of those scrolls and records? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say to him, you will not be wronged. And the small paper will be put in one hand of the balance of all his deeds, and in the other hand of the balance will be put all of those records of bad deeds that he did. And lo and behold, the hand that contains the Shahadah will be heavier and will outweigh everything else. And so that person will be saved by his Shahadah. There are many such reports about the great honor and importance and the tremendous gravity. And you know that gravity literally means weight of the Shahadah. Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as he taught us and as revealed from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who said, "Fa'lam an la ilaha annahu la ilaha illallah." Prophet said sallallahu alaihi wasallam that the very first pillar of Islam is to bear witness that la ilaha illallah Muhammadun Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and everything else follows. Everything else follows, and without that nothing matters, nothing counts. So that a person can be the greatest philanthropist in the world, yet and can be the greatest philosopher in the world, the most generous philanthropist in the world, the most moral person, and so forth, but yet without this connection to the Lord of all and the Creator of all, and this acceptance that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our Creator and our Lord and Cherisher, and the acceptance of the seal of His prophets that He sent to mankind out of His munificence and bounty. Without such acceptance, then all of the good deeds of a person are like as much as smoke. But with that acceptance, the bad deeds of a person are as much as smoke, in the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is not to say that it doesn't matter if one commits sins. No, never. However, the redeeming grace and the redeeming status of the Shahada is so great that when once a person says it, they leave behind all the kufr and darkness and ignorance that they were basking in, and by declaring the Shahada and holding onto it firmly in their heart, even before they know anything else, they enter into the light of guidance and the protection here and hereafter that this guidance from the Lord of the heavens affords this person. So we say Alhamdulillah, who has guided us to this, and we were not to guide ourselves, and if it is not through any special merit of ourselves or any deed that we did, or because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is most just and most merciful and most generous, so out of His generosity He gives, and He gives to all that He wants to bring into His light. He gives the chance to know of this, because Islam as a religion has reached the far reaches of the earth, just as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam announced that this religion shall reach wherever the sun reaches. Yani the sun rises over all parts of the world, and that is where this religion shall reach, from east to west and north to south. And so in the end, no one has any excuse left, really, that they can say to the questioning angels in the grave, "We never heard of this." Rather, they have heard and they closed their ears and they chose, and because of this choice, then their act becomes accountable and they are responsible for rejection. And this is what disbelief means, wal-'iyadhu billah. As for basic ignorance or unawareness, then it does not count as disbelief. It is like being hearing impaired, and it is like being a child who does not understand, or a person who does not have their reason. Such people are not taken to account, and the Prophet ﷺ announced that they will be questioned upon resurrection, and they will be given a chance to accept or reject, and based upon this then they will be punished or rewarded accordingly.